On Fridays, we make sandwiches. Let's make an everything at the steakhouse sandwich. We'll start by making mashed potatoes. So chop your potatoes into small pieces and we're gonna boil them in salty water. Try to avoid the hot water splash zone. Two of my favorite sides at a steakhouse are sauteed mushrooms and cream spinach. So we're gonna slice some shrooms. Then we're gonna get an onion and julienne one half and dice the other half for the cream spinach. Now I'm gonna oil up a pan and get the mushrooms cooking. Now let's add our julienne onions and we're gonna season with salt, black pepper, and thyme leaves. And then we're gonna add some Worcestershire sauce for some good umami flavor. Now I'm gonna give this a good mix and I'm gonna saute them till they're nice and caramelized. Next I'm gonna beat some garlic out of the shell. I'm gonna slice and dice this garlic into little small pieces. And then add the garlic to the sauteed mushrooms and give it a little mix. Let me introduce my sous chef, Rosie, the finest bat dog in the world. Moving on to the cream spinach, we're gonna throw our diced onion in a pot with some melted butter. And you're gonna wanna cook this until it's a little brown, probably around 5 to 7 minutes. Once brown, we're gonna throw in our garlic. And then I'm gonna put in half a block of Philadelphia cream cheese, 3/4 cups of heavy cream, a smidge of nutmeg, and 1 cup of Parmesan cheese. And then you're gonna wanna stir until the sauce is thick with 2 C's. Now I'm gonna add the spinach to the cream. And you want to make sure that you squeezed all the moisture out of it and give it a good mix around until it's thoroughly heated. Now that my potatoes are done, I'm going to drain. Then I'm going to add my knobs of butter and milk and then get to mashing. If you cook your potatoes long enough, you shouldn't need to have too much foreign muscles. You won't need to be a goon or anything to get these nice and mashed up. Now to get them to the consistency and texture that you like, you're probably gonna have to add a lot more butter and a lot more milk. So I ended up putting a good amount in here until I got it to this texture. And after you get the texture right, you're gonna wanna season it with your seasonings of your choice. I'm using garlic salt and black pepper. And you're gonna add a lot of it. Don't be skimp with it. Nobody wants bland mashed potatoes. The same goes for the cream spinach. I'm going to season it up now that the spinach is warmed up. So a good amount of salt and a good amount of pepper. Now for the main attraction. I'm going to melt some butter in a pan, and while that's melting, I'm going to season up my steak with just salt and pepper. And once the butter is melted and the pan's hot, let's add the steak to the pan. Don't forget to season the other side. And I'm going to cook it for about 3 minutes on each side, and then flip it after 3 minutes. Wow, that's a sexy steak. Come on. After I cook the other side for about 2.5 minutes, I'm just gonna baste it with butter and garlic for about a minute. And once it's done, I'm gonna let it rest for 5 to 10 minutes. Now for this bread, I'm gonna take this nice looking sourdough loaf, cut it in half, and then cut it in half again. And I'm going to toast it up a little bit on the kumar. And while that's toasting, I'm going to slice up our rested steak. Oh, yeah. This steak looks perfect. Let's get a close-up look at it. Oh, that's tender. Okay, now that the bread is toasted, it's time to assemble. So the bottom layer, I'm going to use mashed potatoes. And then those nice caramelized sauteed mushrooms. And then now I'm going to add the steak. And for the top layer, I'm going to add a nice heaping of that cream spinach. Now I'm going to pop the top on it. cut it in half. Now let's get a good look at this cross section. Oh wow, the cream spinach, the mashed potatoes, the mushrooms. It's only the second time I've ever wanted to put hanging meat in my mouth like that. All right, well, let's try it and let's grade the results. Oh my God, this sandwich. The perfectly seared steak, caramelized to smoky perfection and seasoned with a hint of garlic and black pepper. Nestled alongside are the sauteed mushrooms, their earthy umami deepened by a buttery glaze, adding a silky texture and a whisper of sweetness that harmonizes with the robust steak. Then comes the layer of velvety mashed potatoes, rich with cream and a touch of butter, lending a cloud-like creaminess that melts into every bite. It's a comfort food revelation, transforming the sandwich into a warm and hearty hug. But the piece de resistance, the creamed spinach, luxuriously smooth with just a hint of nutmeg and parmesan that ties everything together. It's vibrant yet indulgent, cutting through the richness without overpowering the symphony of flavors. The bread, lightly toasted, provides the perfect sturdy yet yielding foundation, holding its own against the generous fillings without becoming soggy. Every component is thoughtfully balanced, creating a textural dance of tender meat, silky mushrooms, pillowy potatoes, and velvety greens. This is one of the best sandwiches I've ever made. Just for that, I'm going to give it a 9.5. Thanks for watching.